problem that I have, I think the police did what they were supposed to do. They came in, they came through the door, they arrested him. He's bonded out since. The problem that I have is that there's this thing that we're dealing with right now that's called mental issue.
There's this rumor of Jake Paul and Ryan Garcia fighting on Netflix to replace Gervonta Davis. Jake Paul, if you guys haven't seen Gervonta Davis and another sexual assault allegation, lawsuits incoming, potentially criminal charges levied. We don't know yet, but we know that fight is up in the air, and I think that fight's not going to happen.
You know, it already happened. You knew it happened, and you made the fight anyway. So now, based on something you already knew happened, now you're just saying, oh, no, because this happened, we're not going to do the fight. But you knew already in the first place.
Yeah, the history was already there.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And for this particular situation, by the way, mind you, the girl now is coming with a civil suit.
Yes.
She probably saw that he signed the Jake Paul fight.
Shannon Sharpe didn't hold back after hearing about Gervonta Davis's arrest. Speaking with intensity, he emphasized that the victim in this case deserves full support and emotional guidance. Sharpe warned that labeling it simply as a mental lapse minimizes the harm done and fails to address the real consequences. He called for accountability that goes beyond sympathy and stressed that Davis may have permanently damaged both his image and boxing future through this incident.
I'm a protector. Is the abuser. You lose a sense of protection of what you think a protector should do. Because, you're supposed to protect me from this. If someone is trying to do this to me, you're supposed to jump in and be my superhero. You're not supposed to commit this act.
Jake Paul went off on X after news broke about Gervonta Davis's legal troubles. His reaction showed deep frustration toward what he described as constant, unprofessional behavior. Jake posted, "Gervonta Davis is acting like a walking disaster. Working with him is chaos showing up late, strange demands, arrests, and drama. Supporting him means ignoring serious wrongdoing." He added that his company stands for women's safety and that he refuses to let someone accused of abuse gain from his platform. Jake apologized to his team and undercard fighters who sacrificed so much for an event now at risk. He called it terrifying that such figures keep rising in fame and power. The post went viral instantly, sparking heated debates. With the fight now uncertain, Jake's team began scouting replacements for the Netflix card, including former UFC champion Francis Ngannou, who quickly turned down the idea, calling it a mismatch that disrespects his boxing ambitions.
Gervonta Davis, we had to go right to the source. What can you tell us? Is there any possibility that Francis Ngannou will step in for Gervonta Davis and fight Jake Paul?
No, there's no such of thing happening. Basically, like how can they go from like Gervonta Davis to Francis Ngannou? Like, I mean, Gervonta Davis is a fantastic boxer, but and is a one-shot knockout artist. But come on, like the weight different and everything, it make no sense. You know, the Gervonta Davis, you count, you say, okay, the size different can level up. But at this point, for me to...
Francis Ngannou publicly shut down any rumors linking him to a Jake Paul fight. He said he has no interest in matches designed only for clicks and social media buzz. Ngannou explained that after facing elite opponents like Tyson Fury, fighting a YouTuber-turned-boxer would be a step backward, not progress. His comments came right after speculation began online that Jake's camp had reached out. Ngannou made it clear that fighters should protect the integrity of their craft rather than chasing fame. Fans praised his honesty and professionalism, agreeing that such a fight would make no sense from a competitive or financial standpoint.
And he said, yeah, Jake Paul, you know, he's fighting. And I'm like, no, bro, come on. Don't disrespect me like that. And then they even say like, even come out after and say, and what if the number are good? He sent out some number. I'm like, it's not about the number. If it was about the number, we could have started talk. I would have tell you, I'm not just interested. It make no sense for me. It's not my what I'm looking at right now.
So there is no dollar amount. It's more the opponent. The fight makes no sense. They could offer you $100 million and you wouldn't be interested.
The fight made no sense. That's what I think. That's my my position. And though I went back, I saw.
With Gervonta Davis out of the lineup, Jake Paul now faces a major challenge finding a new rival. Ryan Garcia's name surfaced briefly as a possible fill-in, but that plan faded fast. Garcia is under contract with Golden Boy Promotions, while Jake works independently through Netflix, creating massive promotional and broadcast conflicts. Garcia's team also showed zero interest in participating in a streaming-based event. Jake's camp continues searching for a high-profile name to keep excitement alive, but the shrinking list of available stars makes the situation difficult.
If that is the route they're going, then it kind of dissuades what I thought may happen, which was this rumor of Jake Paul and Ryan Garcia fighting on Netflix to replace Gervonta Davis. Jake Paul, if you guys haven't seen Gervonta Davis and another sexual assault allegation, lawsuits incoming, potentially criminal charges levied. We don't know yet, but we know that fight is up in the air, and I think that fight's not going to happen, and they're going to either have to move the fight back or they're going to have to look to a replacement or both. I don't know. And the rumor was one of the replacements was talked about and even offered to Ryan Garcia. Well, here is Ryan Garcia's promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, speaking on that rumor and what's next for Ryan.
It's happy Saturday. So I wake up to calls from reporters asking me about Jake Paul and Ryan Garcia. Let me just tell you why this fight is not going to happen. Ryan Garcia fights for DAZN, and Jake Paul fights on Netflix. I mean, that's pretty much the bottom line. Golden Boy has a contract with DAZN. Ryan Garcia has a contract with Golden Boy. And that's just the way it is. I mean, this is business. You know, Ryan Garcia's probably going to rant saying, oh, you're keeping me from making money and this and that and fighting. No, you have to go by the law, by the rules. You have a contract with DAZN. You have a contract with Golden Boy. It just doesn't happen that way. So anyway, until next time, we'll see you Saturday for Virgil Ortiz. But again, Ryan Garcia's next fight will be announced by me, who he's fighting, and when he's fighting next. See you guys.
It always seems like when Oscar decides to address something with Ryan Garcia, that he's not only addressing us, the people, that he's addressing Ryan Garcia. He's like, through us, telling Ryan, no, you're not fighting Jake Paul, no matter how much you want to fight. That's what it seems like, is like, no matter how much you want to fight Jake Paul, you're not fighting him. I don't even think that was meant for us. I think that was him telling Ryan. And you even hear it there. He's like, oh, Ryan's going to say, I'm keeping him from making money or whatever. But in this case, Oscar is right. If Ryan is signed to Golden Boy and Golden Boy is exclusively signed to DAZN for, fight rights, then Ryan has to fight on DAZN. I think that's pretty reasonable for Oscar. I didn't know that Golden Boy was exclusive to DAZN. I didn't know that was a thing. But if that is the thing.
On the MMA Hour, Ariel Helwani and his analysts discussed how Gervonta Davis's lawsuit has deeply damaged his reputation. The timing only weeks after another legal issue suggests ongoing problems that refuse to go away. Helwani's panel described Davis's behavior as part of a troubling pattern affecting his career and personal relationships. They noted that Netflix's upcoming boxing debut is now hanging in the balance, with the platform hesitant to associate with a controversial figure. Jake Paul must now act fast to prevent the entire card from collapsing under uncertainty.
Aggravated battery, false imprisonment, kidnapping, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Lawsuit comes 2 months after Davis's previous domestic violence case was dropped by a different ex-girlfriend and the mother of 2 of the boxer's 3 children. I just think MVP is in the business of being the home of women, right? At this point, that's a huge part of their identity. What is their identity? It's Jake Paul and women's boxing. That's their identity right now. And they've done a phenomenal job for the women. And so how, with these allegations lingering and now coming to light 2 weeks before, how can you go through with it? And it sounds like they feel the same way. It's an impossible spot to be in.
The only part I'd say is you kind of know who this guy is ahead of time. This is not exactly a shocking revelation. Like Tank Davis is, this is not the first rodeo. But I do think it's too close to the fight to really be, messing around here. You got to figure out a new solution.
And so there's been multiple reports regarding people that they've reached out to. Names like Ryan Garcia have been brought up. Terrence Crawford has been brought up. Francis Ngannou has been brought up. And Francis Ngannou spoke to TMZ today, and he did confirm that he was contacted And the quote was, how can they go from Gervonta Davis to Francis Ngannou? It makes no sense. He was like, quote, we think about you to fight Jake. I'm like, what? Which Jake? Bro, come on, don't disrespect me like that.
What the fuck is that?
That might have been the most timely, what the F is that of all time. What do you guys think about that stance from Francis? Because actually, there's a part of me that thinks, take the fight, you knock him out, you'll be like 65 pounds bigger than him, and it's a nice little feather in your cap.
I think that was a great backup solution. I think Francis versus Jake is a great fight.
If it goes all
Compelling,
according to
too.
plan, like he should theoretically get paid a bunch of money, knock out Jake Paul, and make off like a bandit. There is always the world where it goes awry. If he were to drop the fight to Jake Paul, that would
Right, but I mean, you can literally say that about any fight. Are you just saying that the risk is greater than the reward?
I don't think so.
In my eyes, losing to Jake Paul is worse than...
Rolando Raleigh Romero didn't waste time stepping up after the chaos. He announced online that he was ready within days to replace Gervonta Davis and face Jake Paul directly. Confident as always, Raleigh claimed he could knock Jake out and silence all doubts about his skills. His challenge instantly went viral, drawing both excitement and skepticism. Known for his power and brash confidence, Romero's offer kept fans entertained and the event alive while Jake's response remains pending.
Tank has one job to do, which is to let anybody know that's listening that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skills, of which I am an abundance of and of which you have none of. My life's commitment and dedication versus a second or third or fourth thought in the world of priority on your list. And I used to believe those things. Now, I go back far enough in MMA that I've had my eyes open a number of times. The fact that karate was so incredibly useless, or the fact that Jeet Kune Do was so incredibly useless, like these were not things that I would have bet on when I was in high school. As a wrestler at that time, I would not have assumed that I would fare well in a fight against somebody that knew Kung Fu. We had all been falsely led through Hollywood. Not through competition, not through sport, not through understanding of the game, but just through Hollywood. We were told that those guys were the most dangerous guys. So, we then eventually get up to Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, which had a weight discrepancy, but it was very small. I mean, I watched him weigh in. I want to say it was like 8 pounds.
Some boxing commentators argued that Jake Paul's outrage felt hypocritical. They reminded fans that the current case against Gervonta Davis is civil, not criminal, meaning guilt hasn't been established. Others brought up that Jake himself has faced controversies in the past and shouldn't act morally superior. This sparked major discussion online, with many questioning Jake's motives. Was he truly taking a stand for values, or simply using the lawsuit as a way to control public perception and avoid negative headlines?
I want to let everybody know I'm going to slap Jake Paul across his face because, first and foremost, man, I'm tired of this YouTube boxing stuff, man. I really am. I am more tired of this YouTube boxing stuff than everyone else, man. Oh, let's make this happen, bro. Bro, I'll be ready in a week. I'll be ready to slap Jake Paul across the face in a week. I will slap Jake Paul across his face. But who cares? I don't care. Roll over Jake Paul 2025, bro. I knocked out another YouTuber. I knocked out. Jake Paul gets knocked out.
Some boxing commentators argued that Jake Paul's outrage felt hypocritical. They reminded fans that the current case against Gervonta Davis is civil, not criminal, meaning guilt hasn't been established. Others brought up that Jake himself has faced controversies in the past and shouldn't act morally superior. This sparked major discussion online, with many questioning Jake's motives. Was he truly taking a stand for values, or simply using the lawsuit as a way to control public perception and avoid negative headlines?
If I thought he did it twice, and we forgave him for that, and you got better, you seek help, and etc., I can, I forgive him for it.
Bruh.
How you know Jake Paul didn't know that?
Jake Paul knew.
Jake Paul 100% knew.
September 19th, 2017, arrest warrant, first degree assault. September 14th, 2018, arrested in Washington, D.C. February 1st, 2020, Davis arrested on domestic assault. March 22nd, 2021, indicted on 14 counts allegedly causing a serious crash. December 27th, 2022, days before a fight, arrested and jailed in Florida, domestic battery. July 11th, 25, taken into custody following a battery charge. October 31st, 25, Davis was involved in a civil fight with his girlfriend. Shut up, Jake Paul. Yeah. You knew what you was doing.
He does not get this excuse whatsoever. Also, whenever you look at what Jake Paul has done since coming into the sport of boxing, he has been a champion for women in the sport. He has also been a champion of equal fighter pay and whatnot, right? All of these different things that he's done. He's gone to Dana White directly for trying to abolish the Muhammad Ali Act that helps out fighters get. He's gone to so many different people. He's an extremely knowledgeable person whenever it comes to the sport that he's hyper obsessed with, and turned his career from a Disney star and a YouTuber into a boxer. He knew about these issues already. Correct. He knew that this was a farcical fight in the first place. Yeah. This is a 7-weight class difference in real boxing. No, absolutely not. It should not have been a fight that was happening in the first place. But even then, after all of these things going on right now, Jake Paul to sit there and act as if you are all high and mighty. Correct. And that I don't want to give this dude a platform to earn money. You were more than happy doing it.
Some boxing commentators argued that Jake Paul's outrage felt hypocritical. They reminded fans that the current case against Gervonta Davis is civil, not criminal, meaning guilt hasn't been established. Others brought up that Jake himself has faced controversies in the past and shouldn't act morally superior. This sparked major discussion online, with many questioning Jake's motives. Was he truly taking a stand for values, or simply using the lawsuit as a way to control public perception and avoid negative headlines?
I don't know. It's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. He had already had this history. He's trying to be better. And this is something that had already happened in the past. Right? I mean, this was already known when they signed.
Yeah, he wasn't arrested.
He did this prior to this being signed. So you already knew this happened. It was regurgitated as a civil suit, but it was already something that everybody knew had happened in the past. So it's not like something new happened after he signed the fight. So that's what I don't understand, and that's why I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that the kids still lose out on it that way for that reason. Because I don't know, to me, it doesn't add up. It already happened. You knew it happened, and you made the fight anyway. So now, based on something you already knew happened, now you're just saying, oh, no, because this happened, we're not going to do the fight. But you knew already in the first place.
Yeah, the history was already there.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And for this particular situation, by the way, mind you, the girl now is coming with a civil suit. Yes. She probably saw that he signed.
That wraps up today's story. If you want the latest updates from the boxing world, from breaking headlines to behind-the-scenes drama, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more on The Top Boxing.